Hi there, my name is John Stevens, pastor of Zion Lutheran Church in Oregon City, Oregon, and we're part of the ELCA. And welcome to Dollar Store Children's Sermons, where we take a look at the lectionary text and we tie them to an item from the Dollar Tree. This is for the narrative lectionary, and we're on the 18th Sunday after Pentecost, and we're the scripture for today is Exodus 16, verses 1 to 13. It's the story of God providing manna, God providing this substance. So we go, what is this? But it is substance for life. It provides food, and it is enough. And that's really what we're looking at. The focus that I'm looking at is the difference between want and need. The difference between what we need to survive and what we want. Because in the scripture passage, God says, you are provided enough for the day. Trust me that I will provide for what is needed, and that you don't need to store up for the next day, because there will be manna for the next day. And so this idea that if you stored up out of fear that God won't provide, if you store up for more of what you want than what you need, then the stuff just rots. It doesn't last for the next day. And so this idea that we are to trust God for what we need. And so the item I'm using, and it's the thing about the Dollar Tree, like any store, you go there and there is a lot of junk. There's a lot of stuff one doesn't need. There's a lot of stuff that just calls for us to say we should get all of this stuff. But it's not just the Dollar Tree. It's I tell you what, I'm recording on an iPad, which I have upgraded about a year ago, which I won't upgrade for a while. But I look at it. Did I need to upgrade it when I did? Probably not. Using it, I have an iPhone where I probably didn't need to upgrade when I did. I probably, it's one of those things where it's like, and yet I'm looking at the possibility of getting another one or upgrading that because I've got to have it. And somewhere inside, it feels like I need it. I don't need it. I know that. And so there's that struggle between the want and the need. And then with that, a call to be generous and a call to give out of what God has already blessed us with. So I'm looking. That's where I'm focused on for the children's sermon on this, is that difference between trusting God to give us what we need, and then for us then to use what God has blessed us with for the furthering of God's kingdom. That's more churchy talk than I really want to use. That God has blessed us so that we can then love our neighbor just because of that. To love, not to get anything in return, not to expect anything, but that we are called to love because God has first loved us. That's our need, is to be loved. And our neighbor's need is to be loved, and we get to be that for them. God has blessed us with that. So that's the direction I'm going. I'm going to use probably my iPhone, that that this is something I need. Maybe, or not even need, this is something I want. And maybe asking the kids the question, what's something that you want but you probably don't need? And maybe unpack that a little bit. What does that mean? And talk about that God has promised the people of Israel in the text that they will have to trust God, and maybe to crack open the idea of what does it mean to trust? What does it mean to trust God? What does it mean to trust one another? What does it mean to have faith in one another? That God has faith in you and I, that we will reach out into this world. So those are some different direction points that we might take on the children's sermon. As always, thanks for stopping by. I hope this can be a springboard for your own thinking, and I hope you have a fantastic week.